Well, good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Let's make sure everything is working here. Hopefully, everybody can hear me. Hopefully. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing? Figured I should probably hop on here. And I know last night was a total bust, right? Um, the first like 10 minutes of last night's live was fine. It was like 10, 15 minutes where it was good. But then I don't know what happened at my house. The internet absolutely shit the bed. So anyways, good morning. It's early. Happy Monday. I think it's Monday. Yeah, it's Monday. Happy Monday, everyone. Jackie B, hello. Good to see you. Welcome on in. I'm going to give it a minute, let some notifications click in. Hopefully everybody's having a great Monday morning. Last 24 on the mic. Hello, Teresa. Hello. Hello, hello. I did. Good morning, Gina P. Hi, honey. Everybody having their coffee? Good. Me too. We can all have our coffee together. I figured I should probably beautiful Meg P. Hi, honey. I figured we should, all, catch up considering last night I had to delete the live. Sorry about that. Jazz King, hello. Good morning. Krista Nubbs, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. Jazz King, my king. Yeah, the sound should be fine today. I'm on my phone. I don't know what happened at my house, but the internet absolutely shit the bed. They're coming out some point today to try to fix it. So whatever. I had to run a couple of errands today anyway, so I figured, you know what? I'm out and about. I'm just going to do this from my phone. Okay. So we should be good for sound. We should be good for audio. I shouldn't have any problems. I'm on my phone. Teresa, sounds great. Well, thank you. Welcome on in, everybody. Meg P, thank you so much. Last night, you gifted like 20 memberships, and I'm sorry I had to delete the live. So there were 20 of you who got gifted a membership last night. If you did, make sure you put a lot of hearts in the chat for Meg P, okay? It was very, very nice of you, darling. You didn't have to do that, but as always, thank you so, so much. And a big, huge shout out to my Mercy Cat. Love you so much. I don't deserve you. And thank you, Mercy Cat, for being amazing. So I wanted to hop back on here this morning just to kind of go over a little bit, at least give some of the brainworms that I was trying to give last night that I didn't get to. And it's better for me to just get it all out of my brain and then I can move on with my life. Beach Babe, hello. Welcome on in. So that's what I wanted to do this morning. It's just going to be a brainworms day. I did share all of the links that I went over in the live last night that I had to delete. I did share all of those links to my community tab in case anybody wants them. But it does, that's going to explain some of the things we talked about last night, so they are there if anybody wants them. Rex, hello, Rex. So good to see you. Delta, welcome on in, Delta. Oh, don't worry about it, Beach Babe. I had to delete it anyway. Don't be sorry you missed it. I deleted it anyway. You missed nothing, honey. You missed nothing. Just a few of the things that, have been marinating in my brain, right? As you know, some of the lives that we've covered, the last few lives, have to do with like human trafficking in Idaho, human trafficking on college campuses, etc. Right? So last night I was wanted to talk about, you know, how Kaylee herself was a sleuther, right? By all accounts, she was a sleuther. There's quotes from her family on this. There's quotes from, when you dig into even just the supplemental reports, from the interviews with friends and sorority sisters, etc. They're all talking about how she was always looking up pedophiles, right? She's always looking up pedophiles. Yeah, Kaylee was looking up pedophiles. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she was looking up pedophiles, right? More than one person said this. And for me, it goes all the way back to 2021, in my opinion. So that's what I was talking about last night. To me, this all started with Sharon Archer. And And that's just my opinion. As always, friends, if you're just joining chat, welcome on in. Never, ever, ever listen to anything I say. Never run with anything I say. Okay? I'm just, some lady who rides around on a broom. And that's it. I'm just giving you my brainworms of giving my opinions. I do think it's very interesting when I hear certain people saying how, people in true crime are this, and this, and they like to try to, throw dirt. They just like to throw that dirt and kick up that dirt, right? When the fact of the matter is, one of these victims herself was a sleuther. Furthermore, her father is quoted as saying, the reason that he even reached out to Chronicles of Olivia in the first place about this case is because his daughter was already working with Chronicles of Olivia to help in other people's cases. Now, I don't know what he meant by that. I'm just I can only go by what they have said. Okay. And that's all that we can do. I can only go by what they have said about her and what she was doing, etc. Right? Sleuther75, hello, good morning. Welcome on in. So, that's where my brain goes to. I can only go by what her family has said, the statements that her sister has made, the statements that her friends have made, the statements that she herself made while she was still here, right? And for me, it goes all the way back to 2021, October 2021, when she is reporting Sharon Archer missing. She believes that she has seen this missing endangered woman from Coeur d'Alene in Moscow. She reports this to Sergeant Blaker. Blaker takes her report, says he's going to follow up with the cameras if he can get them. As far as I know, never got the camera footage, couldn't get the camera footage, etc. But 3 weeks later, this missing endangered woman that Kaylee reported is found submerged in a lake in her vehicle, dead. Right? And then after that, it would appear Kaylee never reports another thing ever again to Moscow Police Department. Neither does anybody in that house, right? As far as I know. Now, I do know we had the supplemental reports from that Alexis Skelton person from the BAU, I believe it was. And she was going around getting records from like the Office of Civil Rights or whatever at University of Idaho, having to do with the sexual assault cases in 2021 or whatever. Does anybody remember that in those supplemental reports? Fitzy and I were talking about it last night. And she was also obtaining other records for other people. Willie, what up? Welcome on in. So, these are all the brainworms that for me kind of start like melding together, right? When you start going back to October 2021, it would appear, Kaylee is on her own, like sleuthing. I don't know what she's sleuthing. Human trafficking. Maybe she's just trying to help find missing people. I don't know what she's doing, right? I'm not going to presume to know what she was doing, but by all accounts, her own family and her friends are aware she's doing this, right? They all seem to know this. Smiling Sleuth, hello, welcome on in. Mercy Cat, hello, darling. Hello, beautiful darling. I love that video of Elroy running around with the rake. Oh my God, he is so freaking cute. Give him extra treats from me today, please. Also, I have some duck. I have some of his yummy favorite duck treats headed his way, Mercy Cat. Just so you know, he will get some of his favorite little duck treats from me. So yeah, I have all of these brainworms that start coming together, right? Now, fast forward. So it would appear after 2021, and here's the other thing, right? She's using King Road as her address when she's filing this report with Blaker. And by all accounts, she did not live at King Road at that time in October of 2021, if I remember correctly. Okay, don't quote me. I don't need someone coming back later or trying to share my shit. You know who I'm talking to, for fuck's sake, out there, right? I don't need her coming back sharing my shit because I got one thing wrong or I'm off by the date or whatever. Like, oh, bitch, you're so stupid. Like, I'm just throwing it out there. If I remember correctly, she did not live at King Road in October of 2021. Okay. If I remember correctly, but yet she's using King Road as her address, which I thought was interesting, right? Why she's doing that, I don't know. But okay, fine. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So at the end of 2021, going into 2022, it would appear that the beautiful Kaylee Jade Gonsalves here is doing something that has to do with, sleuthing pedophiles and traffickers and whatever. And that's just my opinion, that that's what she's doing, right? As we go further into 2022, right? Summer 2022 rolls along. Mr. Kohberger enters the chat in Pullman at the end of June, right? According to Bethany, they all didn't move into the residence until August, right? First week of August is when they all moved back. Maddie was living there, but according to Bethany, like Kaylee, Dylan, and Bethany all moved in like end of July, beginning of August, right? So you've got Mr. Kohberger appearing end of June. He's getting invited to this pool party in Moscow in July, beginning of July. I think it's July 9th is the pool party, if I remember correctly. And it is his geofence for that pool party was going to be used as an exhibit by the defense in this case, just to throw that out there. So I'm not pulling this out of my ass. The actual geofence for that pool party was going to be used as an exhibit. So he was invited out to this pool party in Moscow at the Grove or whatever. I don't know who threw it. I don't know if it's a sorority throwing the party. I don't know if it's a frat throwing the party. But he ends up at this pool party in July, right? July of 2022. Then August rolls around. What starts happening in August? Well, all of a sudden in August, the noise complaint calls start kicking in for King Road. You have officers from Moscow Police Department showing up to King Road who were not even called there. They're getting a call for a different house and take it upon themselves to go over to King Road. While they're there, they photograph a victim who is, they photograph Kaylee's ID, but then in their report, they don't include that they took a photograph of this person's ID, the responsible party who they went and served the warning to. They don't include that they took a photo of the ID. They don't include the photo of the ID in the report. None of that. So that's like mid-August, right? In August as well, Mr. Kohberger is getting pulled over. His little traffic stop there, right? And I believe it's on the same day that a photo is taken of her ID when MPD shows up, right? Then we notice from August through September through October. So going into the fall of 2022, all of these noise complaint calls start ramping up for King Road. Cops are crawling all over that fucking place. They're making loop-de-loops, undercover patrol for this, undercover patrol for that, right? We've got Payne on his own body camera, standing at the end of the driveway, telling his ride-along that they're just going to stand there and listen for a minute in the dark. And you can clearly hear all of the conversations and the screaming and the yelling and the cheers and the jeers and the music coming from inside the house, right? So going into the fall of 2022, as the police presence starts ramping up around King Road, you also have WSU police officers under investigation for being groomers and sexual assaulters. They're forced to resign. There's resignations occurring, investigations occurring for WSU police in the fall of 2022. What you also have happening in the fall of 2022 is none other than Vicky Gooch and Idaho State Police, in conjunction with Homeland Security Task Force, Jeff Nye, the Attorney General's office, are all kicking off these undercover human trafficking stings. Fall of 2022. Where officers are going undercover onto social, like trying to meet, people online and have them come meet at the hotel, right? And it's not to like arrest the victims, right? What happens when the victim gets there and they meet the John, who is actually a cop, is usually they're not arrested. According to Vicky Gooch, in the fall of 2022, the 22 victims that they came in contact with one particular night on a sting, none of those women were charged. But what happens is that it will go on your record for when police come in contact with you again, that you're a victim of trafficking. Okay. This isn't me, like I'm not pulling this out of my ass. This is what Victoria Gooch herself says happened in this sting. These women weren't charged, but what does happen is that police will know when they come in contact with you again, you're a victim of trafficking, right? So don't try to, that's why they had to make these new laws and stuff in Idaho, and they had to like amend things. Jeff Nye ended up putting in a whole 51-page report for human trafficking in Idaho in 2022. It was submitted, I think, in December of 2023. And this 51-page report goes into great detail about the work that was done with Idaho State Police and this Cobb's Place, the Community Outreach Behavioral Services Program run by Paula Bartholomew, where many of the victims came later whistleblowing to investigate West about this Cobb's facility. Cobb's and Idaho State Police ended up getting something like 1.5 million, if I remember correctly. Like, I don't have docs in front of me. I'm literally just going off brainworms. Okay. So don't quote me. That's why it says up on the screen, just my opinion and thoughts. All the fucking links, are on my community tab somewhere. Okay. We've already gone over the Investigate West article. There are more to come that we're going to be covering because I have more. But if I remember correctly, Idaho State Police was given a grant of 1.5 million to collaborate with Cobb's in 2022, to do these undercover trafficking stings. And, I noticed in one portion of it, so when the, safe houses are full, what Cobb's will do is they'll put you up in a hotel. They don't have space for you at the safe house. They'll just put you up in a motel or a hotel, which I thought was super interesting because we know what happened with Bethany and Dylan. They were immediately put up in a hotel together, right? Moscow Police Department put them and their friends up in a hotel, even though their friends all have fucking apartments right there. Even though all Bethany wanted to do was just leave and have her parents come and get her and go home. You know what I mean? Like, they were put up together in a hotel. If I remember correctly, Molly, same thing happened with Molly. Molly was also put up in a motel or a hotel for a period of time, right? Because what will happen is they'll come in contact with you, say for drug possession, but then in your file, it says you're a victim of trafficking. They're not supposed to like charge you and shit, but what they will do is they'll refer you over to, Cobb's, right? They'll try to get you help for services for trafficking and things like this. So it's just super interesting to me that starting in the fall of 2021, Miss Kaylee here is reporting what she believes to be a missing endangered person. Okay. Someone like Sharon Archer, even though her family was looking for her and stuff, it was very interesting to me because the way that they describe her as having like severe medical conditions and brain damage from a car accident previously almost makes it seems like Like, to me, she's like the perfect kind of a victim, especially if she has brain damage and maybe doesn't like remember who she is, or doesn't. But this woman's driving around in a car. She has a vehicle. Um, she's got a registered vehicle and a driver's license and all of this, right? So the whole story with like Sharon Archer's disappearance and then finding her 3 weeks later submerged after Kaylee reports her. She's in Moscow. She's like 80 plus miles away from Coeur d'Alene from where she lives. That's the other thing. Archer is from Coeur d'Alene, you know? So maybe, that's what maybe made Kaylee start looking into it, is that this is this missing, endangered elderly woman, like literally from where I grew up, where I live, right? I want to help. I could see that. I could see she wants to help. But then going into 2022, when you see what Idaho State Police is doing with these human trafficking task forces and all of this, to me, it just gives me the vibes. It's like a combo of vibes. And for me, the vibes are a little bit of Judge Mullins mixed with a little bit of Matthew Farwell. Like, those are the vibes I'm getting here. It just feels like a little bit of, I don't know how to describe it, okay? It just, to me, feels very like what the feds had to do in Farwell. Think about how long it took for the feds to come forward and finally indict Matthew Farwell, even though they knew and they had more than enough evidence, proof, whatever, just to build their case to indict Farwell. It took like 2 years, I think, almost. And to me, this is like the vibes I'm getting here. Or, like, I don't know, is that what she was like sleuthing on, right? Was she kind of looking into this kind of stuff? I don't know. But according to her father, and I posted the Fox 5 news article in my community tab for anybody who is confused about what I'm talking about here. Like, Steve is quoted in that article as saying that Kaylee had been working with Chronicles of Olivia before her murder to help other people. Okay. I don't know what he meant by working with Chronicles of Olivia, but that's what he's quoted as saying. Okay. Maybe she was just a mod, something. I have no idea. But it's very well known between the family, Chronicles of Olivia, and her friends that Kaylee apparently was very much into true crime. She was very much an online sleuther, and she was sleuthing pedos for months before these homicides. Okay. So, let me come back to chat. Think I've gotten most of my brain worms out. Sorry, guys. If I look at my chat while I'm trying to talk about my thoughts, I will lose my train of thought. So welcome in, everyone. Thank you for being here. If I missed you, I'm so sorry. Nothing half-assed. Hello. Annie Ruler. Hello. Love Tina. Good to see you. Momo. Is that you? Did I just see Momo? Yes. Hello. Who's gifting memberships out here? Mercy Cat. Beautiful darling. Gifted 10 memberships. If you got a membership, make sure you say thank you to Mercy Cat. Thank you so much, Mercy Cat. You're freaking amazing. You know how much I adore you, and thank you so much. So isn't it interesting, guys, huh? Like fall of 2022, all this shit's kicking off, though. Fall of 2022 is when, now Brian Koberger would have known as well that in the fall of 2022, WSU police officers are under investigation. He absolutely would have known that. Everybody in the town knew it. Everybody knew it. Right? If I'm missing you, I'm so sorry. Foya and Find Out, hello. Diane Draper, hello. Sorry, guys, I'm on my phone today, so I can only see like a few comments at a time. I'm trying to scroll up and say hello. Hope everybody's having a great day. Christine Hurd, hello. Good to see you. Ali Guido. Yeah, it says there's like 122 people here, Thumbs it up, thumbs it down, follow your heart, not your frown. Kaiba, oh, hello. Manda Panda, yes, hello. Steve does say a lot, but you know what? That's all we can go by, unfortunately. I'm not one of those people out here that's just gonna like make shit up. I try my very best not to make shit up out of thin air. I can only go by what people say, what the family members have said, what is documented, maybe what they're quoted as saying. Like that's all we can really do here. I'm not trying to go too far into the weeds and too far into the fucking rabbit holes. Debsy, I feel like even talking about this, I'm in a rabbit hole. Because for me to try to like put all the brainworms together and explain it how it makes sense in my mind, it's tricky for me to do. And the only way I can do it is to just be blunt about it, is that it looks like baby girl, Miss Q, hello. It looks like baby girl here was sleuthing fucking pedos and traffickers. And you know what? If that's what she was doing, hell to the yes. Slay queen. I hope that's what she was doing. I hope that's not what made this happen. But I do hope that maybe that's where she was going with her career. Maybe that's what she was doing. It seems very interesting to me that her parents are saying she had moved out in the fall of 2022. She was already moved out. So as all of these undercover human trafficking stings are occurring, as WSU police is under investigation for their own groomer predator cops, she's also getting the fuck out of Dodge, according to her family. She's out. She's going to graduate early and leave. She's off to Texas. She's got a new job. Yet, the crime scene photos would state otherwise. Her room appears to be fully stocked. Her room does not look like she moved out. So it looks like people are under the impression that she's somewhere else. Well, her parents are thinking she's somewhere else, I guess, because she's not there. They're saying she already moved out. There are multiple articles where it's quoted that she was already moved out and only went back for the weekend to show Maddie her car. It has been said repeatedly, and that just can't be true. It just can't be true. Out of everyone in the house, she had the most stuff. It's like 22 plus boxes of items packed up that belong to her, along with totes and stuff as well. So it just can't be true that she was moved out. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that they're lying. What I'm saying is that for whatever reason, she has got people under the impression she's moved out and she's leaving. Right? Kids lie to their parents all the time. I'm not knocking the G family. I am not knocking her parents. I'm not saying that they're lying. What I'm saying is that, kids lie to their parents all the time, and she wasn't a kid. She was an adult. She's a 21-year-old woman on her own, doing her own thing. Okay. And maybe didn't want tabs kept on her. Maybe she was doing something where she didn't want people to know what she was doing or where she was. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. It's not like her parents know every fucking move of her life. Like she doesn't even live with them. She's been living away from them for a while. So you can't really go by what they think they know about what she was doing. It would appear for whatever reason, she's got her parents under the impression she doesn't live there anymore and she's leaving. Yet, you have Bethany and others saying that she was deciding that she was going to stay there. She was coming back there, right? So it's super interesting that in the fall of 2022, all of these investigations are kicking off. These undercover task forces for trafficking are being launched. WSU police are being investigated. Kaylee's allegedly getting the fuck out of Dodge. She's kind of maybe misrepresenting to people where she's actually staying, right? And where she's actually going. And maybe for good reason she's doing that. And then poof, she comes back for one weekend and everybody, all hell breaks loose. They're all murdered. And we know that the whole trope of everyone was killed in their sleep. Stop. Just stop. Nobody was killed in their sleep. Maybe one was killed in their sleep. But no, I'm so very sorry. Based on the crime scene photos, based on what those rooms look like, no. She actually put up one hell of a fight. She was not asleep. And you know what's interesting to me too is like her parents had made comments about, well, we were told like how she was found. She was found slumped up, like trapped in the corner at the top of the bed, slumped up in the corner of the wall. And in fact, that's not how she was found according to the crime scene photos. So that's super interesting. I don't know what she was doing. I really don't. I think it's very interesting that all of this shit that's kicking off in the fall of 2022, whatever's happening is enough that she's like, I need to leave. Right? Isn't that interesting? Now, I know everybody's saying, oh, she went home for this or she went home for that. Well, here's the problem. She didn't actually go home because there's an interview with Christy out there where Christy's talking about she missed my birthday. But she had called me to say she was going to make it up to me and take me out for my birthday the following week, right? So she wasn't even staying at her parents because according to Christy, that week, she had missed like whatever they were doing for Christy's birthday. And she was going to come take her next week instead, take her out for her birthday, right? I remember like that interview occurring. And I'm thinking to myself, but I thought she was staying with you guys. Like, how would she miss your birthday if she's back staying with you guys? Right? And then we find out with the car, she's selling the one car for cash, right? As is online to some guy on like Marketplace or whatever. And she takes that cash and uses it to allegedly go put down on the rover, but then only puts down $1,000. And like it's her grandmother that had to give her the $1,000 or something to put down on the rover. Does that sound right? Like if you just sold your other car for cash, why wouldn't you put the cash down? And why do you need to get money from your grandmother for the rover for the down payment? Or maybe she needed the extra $1,000 from her grandmother for the down payment. I don't know. I just think it's very interesting that it's all happening at the fall of 2022. She's getting rid of the car she was driving. She's telling people she no longer lives at King Road, even though all of her shit is there. And it happens to be at the same fucking time they're kicking off all of these undercover trafficking operations going on in that area. And, all over Idaho. I don't know. It's very, very interesting, in my opinion. In my humble opinion. I don't know shit. Do not ever listen to me. These are just my brainworms, friends. But to me, it's just like, okay. So she's like doing all this cloak and dagger. She's moving like spies move, bro. She's giving me spy energy. Like she's fucking moving side to side. People think she's over here, and these people think she's actually over here, and these people think she's moving here, and these people think she's moving there. And she's like, yo, I got to get rid of this car. This car's got to go. Know what I mean? It's just super interesting to me, and it's all happening at the same time. At the same time. And Kohberger, allegedly 12 of his pings are all for like the same time. In the same area. His lawyer at one point is even saying he was in Moscow, but he wasn't at that house. Maybe she's not talking about that night where they're talking about his pings. He was in Moscow, but he wasn't in that house. He was going to Moscow, but he wasn't going to that house. That's super interesting. So where the fuck was he going? Was he also watching someone over there? Like we know he's not connected to none of them. According to everything we've read so far, he is not connected to any of these victims. But I'm just saying, Brian would have known what was going on with WSU police. He would have known. I'm wondering if he, you know, also was maybe watching some shit, poking his fucking nose around where it didn't belong. Know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. It's very, very interesting to me that fall of 2022, it's when he's getting stopped. All these calls are going in for the house, right? All this weird shit's going on with her. She's getting rid of the vehicle, getting something different. It's just all very strange. It's very, very strange to me. And you know, I don't know, friends. You tell me what you think, you know? Agape love. Holy shit, I haven't seen you in so long. How is Teach? Agape love. I haven't seen you since I haven't seen Teach in a long time. I don't even see like notifications for Teach anymore or videos or nothing. The hard truth. I miss that channel so much. Good to see you. Agape love. Coming to chat, friends. I'm coming to my comments. Leslie and Billy, hello. Good to see you. So I don't know, guys. If I'm not making any sense, it's fine. Beckles, hello. It is what it is, you know. If you want, I can drop the link and, you know, you can, if somebody wants to pop up and just give me their thoughts and, opinions, that would be fine. We're not going to stay here for days or hours or anything like that. Okay. You guys know I don't like to do these long ass lives, but I want to stay on topic. I do want to stay on topic. Like, what do you think about the synchronicities and the timing of what's happening with all of these undercover like trafficking stings and whatever's going on in the fall of 2022? And then bam, for, you know, we're not even 2 weeks into November and all this happens, right? To me, it's just very interesting, the timing. So it's up to you guys. We can end it here if somebody wants to come up and, you know, give me a couple minutes of their time and an extra brainworm. Maybe there's something I forgot. Oh, wait, that's the other thing I did want to talk about was the Office of Civil Rights. Sarah D. Irish, good to see you. Dave Clayton, hello. The Office of Civil Rights at University of Idaho. Maybe I already did say this. You had that skeleton person from the BAU going and getting like all the reports or something. She was getting like Spillman reports and shit. Rapes reported to the university, sexual assaults reported to the university, things like that. For like 2021, if I remember correctly. And maybe into 2022. Maybe it was for both years. And somebody in my comments, I forget the name, it escapes me. They had said too that this BAU person, she collected 3 USBs. 2 went to Pullman and 1 went to Coeur d'Alene, something like that. If I remember correctly, don't quote me. But it's in the documents. Apparently it's in the supplemental reports. And whoever you are, thank you for putting that in my comments. And I'm sorry I forgot your name. I'm so very sorry. All right. So let me see how I do this here. Hold, please. We want to do that. I'll put the link in chat. If you want to come up, you will have to show me your face backstage, just so you know. If you are a troll and you try to pop up backstage and like show your peen or anything like that, just know I send it all to Homeland Security, including your IP address, and I just screenshot it. So unless you want to, you know, have spooks showing up at your door for being a dirty fucking pervert online, you don't want to click the link to be a troll. You've been forewarned. Okay, there we go. Put that in chat for everybody. All right. Why is it telling me it won't let me share the link? Hang on. It says YouTube rejected my shit. Excuse me. This is my channel. If anybody can put a link in the chat, it's me. Okay. Why is it not letting me do this? It keeps saying that YouTube is rejecting my link, and I don't know why. Hmm. Okay. Well, I guess you guys can't come up then. If you thought you were going to click the link, haha, joke's on you. It just keeps blocking it anyway. YouTube keeps blocking it, and I'm not sure why. Hmm. So anyways, it's fine. That's just my sign to say bye-bye. It is what it is. I was going to try to drop the link in case anybody wanted to come up. Dawn, oh, hello. But if you catch this on the replay and, maybe there's something I missed. If there's something else you want to add to it, that's fine. Appreciate all of you. Danger. Oh my goodness. Haven't seen you so long. Danger zone. Danger. Watch yourself. Good to see you, Danger Zone. So, I just have a lot of brainworms about it. And in my opinion, it would appear that the beautiful Kaylee Jade here, maybe had just as much of a problem with fucking pedophiles and traffickers as I do. And she wanted to catch them all like Pokemon. Which, you know what? I'm here for it. If that's what she was doing, you know what, baby girl, we're going to build a fucking shrine to you one day. Okay. That's how I feel about that. If in the end we find out that baby girl here she just wanted to catch these pedos and traffickers like fucking Pokemon, okay, I'm definitely gonna like build a little shrine for her or something, I'll put up a little bestie bench or something in my state, and I'm not gonna do a crowdfund money for it either. I'll just pay for that shit out of my own pocket. You know what I mean? I don't need crowdfunding to put up a bench, but I'll do it. If we ever find out, we get to find out that she was involved in trying to catch pedophiles and traffickers amongst the Palouse and Coeur d'Alene areas, I will absolutely put a bestie bench in my city. I'm not even kidding you, and I'll pay for it myself. Makes me wonder if this is why they wouldn't give back her phone and her laptop and everything to her family, right? I remember not that long ago, Christy was still saying she was still talking to Brian Enton about how, they can't even get back her phone or her laptop still, which I thought was super interesting. For you and find out member for 4 months. Nice. Thank you so much for being a member for 4 months. You're freaking amazing. So yeah, I hope everybody, goes and has a great day, right? I know it's a lot. And I'm just throwing things out here as they pop into my brain. Chloe, hello. Bye, Willie. Have a great day. So, I don't know. It is what it is. These are just my brainworms. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I have no problem being wrong. I don't ever want you guys to, run with anything I say, do your own research, come to your own conclusions. These are just like the little things that have kind of like clicked together in my brain as we've gone along here and more information comes out. And when I found all the information about the Idaho State Police and Vicky Gooch and Jeff Nye working with Cobbs because they got all this grant money to do this work with Cobbs, to deploy this, undercover task force, and everything. I said, holy shit. And it's all culminating right around the fall of 2022. Everything seems to culminate and come together. And then November 13th, this happens. So, I don't know. It's kind of, I'm just of the opinion that, Chronicles of Olivia definitely knows exactly what her and Kaylee were looking into. If Steve is correct in what he's quoted as saying, if that's a correct quote, that this news outlet got accurate and that Kaylee was working with Chronicles of Olivia before her murder, well, then Chronicles of Olivia knows exactly what they were working on. And something tells me it has to do with sleuthing fucking pedophiles and traffickers. And that's just my opinion. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Okay. Feel free to absolutely disagree with me in my comment section. If you happen to hear this on the replay, Appreciate everybody being here. Mods, thank you so much. Mercy Cat, Meg P, members, Foya and Find Out. I think Leslie and Billy, I saw you go by. Sorry, guys, I can only see a couple at a time because I'm on my phone. But thank you so much to everybody who hung out today. Okay. Appreciate all of you, your Venmos, your Cash Apps. You have no idea how much it means to me. I truly appreciate the support. I really do. I want you to know it's not necessary, though. You never have to do it. Okay. I appreciate it when you do it, but you never ever have to. Just know that. So I hope everybody goes and has a great day. I'm going to get out of here. If you catch this on the replay, if you were gifted memberships, please make sure you say thank you in the comments to anybody who gifted you a membership. I think like 10 or 20 of them went out today, and it was probably Meg P or Mercy Cat. So make sure you say thank you. Okay. And I hope everybody has a great day. Jazz King, you have a great day. Take care, everyone. I hope. V Slims, hello. So good to see you. Amy Conway, hello. So yeah. All right, everybody. Have a great day, okay? And if you're replay crew, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't mind being wrong. Okay. But I think Kaylee was, she wanted to catch all them pedophiles and traffickers like Pokemon. And you know what? I kind of hope she did. I kind of hope maybe she already did. I kind of hope maybe was whatever was on that laptop they couldn't get into, right? And whatever was on that phone that they couldn't get into, they couldn't jailbreak her phone and they couldn't jailbreak her laptop. I'm praying. Maybe, just maybe, baby girl did catch some of them pedophiles and fucking traffickers. And you know what? I hope she did. I hope she caught all you motherfuckers. If you're out there listening, I hope whatever she was doing caught you. Is it sad that she is not here? Absolutely. It absolutely is. But I will say, part of me thinks that maybe, just maybe, baby girl caught some motherfuckers by the toe, right? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by its toe. I think she caught some of them motherfucking tigers by their toes. Just my opinion. Hope everybody has a great day. Bye.